Hey, your bud Doug here. Welcome to another edition of the Artist Lounge at Mix Country 96. And look, see, it's Spensha Baker from The Voice.
Hi,
Spensha.
guys.
How are you?
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I know you too.
Oh my gosh, our heads are swelling with a big star like you in the building.
You know.
Spensha was on season 14 of The Voice, like what, 3 or 4 months ago, something like that?
3 months ago. You know, when you say last season, people automatically think like last year, but it was only 3 months ago.
It's not old history by any stretch of the imagination, okay?
I'm still relevant.
Oh, you have been since you were well, since you were born, obviously. Ask your mother, Marcy, sitting right over there.
Yeah, I've been relevant to her forever. So.
But yeah, it's not old news by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Team Blake took you on. Can you give us some dirt on Blake? I had to ask you.
Some dirt on him.
I remember seeing him when he had hair down to here.
Yeah, well, he's cut it since then. You know, Blake is everything you expect him to be. So he's funny, you know, he's outgoing on TV, but I think he's even funnier off camera because he's more unfiltered. And then also another thing I loved about working with him is every time we went into a rehearsal, he had his guitar to his left and his mug to his right, and that's all I remember. Like, that's how I remember him. And like the cameraman would be changing the lenses between takes, and he would just start strumming his guitar. It's like he had to have it, and he had to constantly be playing. And I think that's something I learned from him too, subconsciously. So, yeah, he's funnier in person.
Did you get a look at what he was drinking in his mug?
You know what? Have Blake here. Have him come and you know, chat with you about
I would guess it was like orange juice and milk or something. Maybe a nice warm
milk.
tea.
Maybe milk. Yeah, 2%.
Hey, I got to tell you, young lady, you are breaking down some barriers, and we love that. I love diversity in life. It makes life so much more interesting and so much more palatable. You became the first African American to make the top 4 in the entire history of The Voice.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
You know what? I didn't even really recognize it in the moment. And then it wasn't until afterward that, you know, I had found out about that.
So it wasn't something you were shooting for in the back of your mind? But when you heard the news, boom.
In fact, I'll be honest with you, I was just hoping Blake would turn his chair at my blind audition. I'm serious. I was taking it like one round at a time, just, you know, praying that I would make it to the next part of it. So to make it that far and then to be the first to really do that was really something special. And people would ask me about that on the show, like, how does it feel to be, you know, African American in country music? And I always said I don't even think about it.
Are you sick of hearing that question?
Well, no, I don't even.
How does it feel?
I don't think I know, right? It feels like normal. But I just see myself as a country artist. I just want to sing music and write music that people will enjoy and love, and so that's really my goal.
I'm getting some goosebumps here.
Oh wow!
You're trying to make me cry? Ray Michaels pulled that on me in the studio a little while ago.
You know what's so funny about you crying is I cried the entire season. Like, just every time I made it through, every time I sang, I used to cry because you know, 3 years ago I wasn't singing at all. And now I'm in the middle of purpose, doing something I'm meant to do.
Because you took some time off to reflect about some things because you started performing at 6, correct?
Well, I started singing at 6. I made this sort of like a life choice at age 9, and then I was on Star Search at age 12. So that was just kind of the...
That show has a great history, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And I was on the last season when Arsenio Hall was hosting. So
yeah. Ooh. Yeah. That's
pretty much my reaction. And yeah, so I did that at a young age, and then I recorded my first gospel album at 14, and I traveled on that forever, and then the label and I split ways. I moved to Nashville for 5 years. In the middle of my stay in Nashville, I lost that umph you have when you first start doing something. It just left. So I left music, and The Voice was the first time that I had sang in 3.5 years. So. And
we've all had the wind knocked out of us from time to time.
Sure.
And it has to happen so you can elevate yourself even higher.
Sometimes it does, and sometimes though you go through the hard times and you're weak inside. You can't really handle it, so you quit it completely. And my encouragement is not to do that. Life is going to be full of hills and valleys, and when you're in those valleys, press through it. Cry if you need to, speak to someone, pray, whatever it is you need to do to get through the hard times, because on the other side of that is The Voice. On the other side of that is your dream, your opportunity. And so if people would hold on a little longer, they would see that.
That's great advice to take, and I don't like to ask a lady her age, but may I ask you how?
25.
25. To hear a young lady your age say something like that is totally inspiring.
Yeah.
And very uplifting. And I was talking to a friend of mine, an acquaintance recently, about getting a job. Well, I was holding off for something better. I said, one thing leads to another. Be thankful that you have a job. Thank the Lord for what you do have, and you've taken everything that you do have and you've capitalized on that.
Yes, but I will say this too. It's important to have that guy's lucky to have you telling him that, because my mother was that person for me that put the nugget in my ear to say, you have purpose. What are you doing settling at 25? Why are you leasing apartments when you could be utilizing your gift? When you have something that could affect the world, you're choosing to affect your 2 or 3 people that walk in your office. So that was a big wake-up call as well.
And of course, your mother Marcy, not to step on you, but I was getting excited about this. Marcy's sitting right over there. We tried to get her on camera.
No, I'm trying to tell you.
Because, you know, anyone's seen with me, it can be a bad thing. So you're taking a risk here, Spensha. But she provided some great inspiration, because there was a point where you almost said no to showing up on The Voice.
Yeah, well, we were watching an episode, and she turned to me and said, well, you know, you're not doing anything, why don't you just go audition? They'll be in Austin. I'm like, Mom, this is why we think you're crazy, because you just, what are you saying? What's happening?
She loves you.
Right, and then I thought, why not? You know, I just want her to stop talking about it. So I said yes. We drove up to the cattle call audition. The line was wrapped around the building. My mom says, you know, you can send in a video, that would be sufficient. And I said, no, I want to just have the whole experience. Why not?
That is so cool.
And I ended up in the top 4.
Thank God for the cattle calls. I once went to a cattle call. They brought me a bag of feed. They thought, anyway. Hey, do you like the corny jokes, Spensha?
No, they're working for me. I like them.
Hey, please tell us about the music you've worked on so far and what you're working on right now, please.
So during the show, they give you an original single at the end. So I had 2 choices. I had Old Soul, which is the single I'm now promoting, and I had a Maren Morris song that she wrote. You can imagine my dilemma. Like, Maren Morris, Old Soul, Maren Morris. Okay. Eventually, I had to go with my heart, which is also something my mother taught me when you're in moments of pressure. So I went with Old Soul. It felt like it was written for me. It was written by a former Voice contestant, so that was really funny how that came back around full circle.
Excellent.
Sam James, he just wrote for Tim McGraw, Kat Higgins, who writes for Carrie Underwood, and Marty Jane Dotson, so the A-team right there. The song is about a relationship that is worn and has gone through things that could have made it weary, but it lasted. And it's about that old soul, not gasoline on fire that kind of burns out after a little while, but the one that kind of is everlasting and continues to go on. I think we all want that kind of love in our lives if we don't have it already. So
we're all going to start crying here.
No, seriously, don't get me started. I think we all want that kind of love. I think that's the love that I felt from my mother when I went in this opportunity. That's the love that my mother and father have for each other. Maybe people watching, or you, maybe you have someone in your life whom you love unconditionally, and that's what this song is really about. And so I'm really glad that people will get a chance to be introduced to me as an artist, and Old Soul will be a part of a bigger project that people will love, hopefully, and I'm really excited for people to hear it.
Which song will you perform for us, please?
I'm going to do a song I did on the show called Smoke Break.
Smoke Break?
Carrie Underwood.
That's the oh yeah.
Yeah.
And who wrote that song?
I don't know, but I know
one of her gang, right?
One of her A-team writers.
Okay. And as you grab your guitar,
yeah,
please share the story behind your guitar.
Yeah, so this is a Takamine acoustic guitar, and Blake gave it to me as a gift on the show.
Whoa.
And so what happened was he was like, my friends at Takamine would like to give you a guitar. And I was like, oh my God, so nice. And then I like turned to my Blake teammate and I was like, how do you play this? What is it? So I had to like learn how to play guitar.
Learning is fun, isn't it?
Especially something you've never done before. So I already play keyboard, but you know, this was a new challenge. So that I take it on. When Blake Shelton gives you a guitar, you better learn how to play it. So. And
you're nailing it, I bet.
I'm trying. I'll let you tell me. I'll let you guys leave your comments below and tell me what you think of my guitar playing.
Spensha Baker, ladies and gentlemen. Were you going to say something else, or?
No, I'm ready to go.
All right, we're ready to hear it.
Yes, here we go. jobs feeding 4 little mouths in a rundown kitchen. When you're never taking nothing, doing nothing but giving. It's hard to be a good wife and a good mom and a good Christian. She said, I don't drink, but sometimes I need a stiff drink. Sipping from a high full glass, let the world fade away. Yeah, I don't smoke, but sometimes I need a long drag. Yeah, I know it might sound bad, but sometimes I need a small break. He's a big city hard-working man just trying to climb the ladder. First generation to go to college instead of driving a tractor. Never had nothing handed to him on a silver platter. It's hard to be a good man, good son, do something good that matters. He said, I don't drink, but sometimes I need a stiff drink. Sipping from a high full glass, let the world fade away. Yeah, I don't smoke, but sometimes I need a long drag. Yeah, I know it might sound bad, but sometimes I need a small break. So here's to you and here's to when the day gets long. Go ahead, I understand if you want to take a load off. I don't drink, but sometimes I need a stiff drink. Sipping from a high full glass, let the world fade away. Yeah, I don't smoke, but sometimes I need to light it up. Yeah, when things get tough, sometimes I need a
Fantastic, man, that was really great. Thank you. How's your little girl, Marcy?
Oh my gosh. My mom's like sobbing.
Oh man. Oh boy, I tell you, whew,
Yeah.
It'll do it to you. Power of music right there.
Yeah.
Molly behind the camera, I think she got a little emotional too, didn't you? Man, I tell you, that was awesome. You have a wonderful voice. It really moves you when you hear that. I mean,
thank you.
Sorry, there I go.
No, I know.
Okay.
The story I think is strong because I wasn't doing this, and
well, we're glad you are doing it. Keep doing it.
I'm glad I'm doing it too. I want to make people feel, what you're feeling, and so that's my goal.
Boy, and you've learned that from a very young age that the power of music can heal.
Yeah.
Like time does, and we all perceive it differently, and it hits us at different points with different things happening in our lives. We're all different, thank God, but it is such a moving experience to sit next to someone like you with a voice like you have, and to share that with us in this room today. We're very blessed, Spensha. I mean, we really are. And can you do another one?
Sure.
Please?
Listen, don't get me here all day.
Don't get me started, right?
I know, but I want to say something too. That's what I love about country music is it's a story.
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
This Smoke Break is the story of a single mom who's who's working all the time, and she just needs like an escape, and people who are hardworking like yourself, who need a break, and we get it.
You're not promoting smoking. Everybody, I need a cheeseburger, I need a Coke, I need a cup of tea.
Whatever makes you feel like you're jump in the lake.
There you go.
There you go. Just.
I'm glad you pointed out our beautiful lake back there. Isn't it pretty?
It's so pretty. I love it. Actually, I was taking pictures of it earlier.
Not as pretty as you, though.
Wow! Stop. Okay, sorry. I'm really bad at that.
What's the name of this one?
I'm gonna do Broken Halos by Chris Stapleton. Oh my gosh. We need to get you some tissues.
Maybe I should just move over here.
You're like, move over. to help us on our way. They come to teach us, then they leave us, and they find some other soul saved. Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly, and they've all gone wherever they go. Broken halos that used to shine. So don't go looking for the reasons, and don't go asking Jesus why. 'Cause we're not meant to know the answers, 'cause they belong to the by and by. 'Cause they belong to the by and by, yeah. Seeing my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly, and they've all gone wherever they go. Broken halos that used to shine, broken halos that used to shine, broken halos that used to shine.
Oh, wow. That was something. You said that was a Chris Stapleton song,
Chris
right?
Stapleton song called Broken Halos.
Boy, that's something we can all relate to. We all have a broken halo or two in our past.
Yep.
But we shouldn't live in the past, should we?
No, and just to be grateful for the people that God does bring in our life, who encourage us and then they leave.
Well,
We
you're
carry
certainly
them with us,
you're
yeah.
certainly providing just a little bit of encouragement to us
You
today.
know.
No, a ton. I mean,
Thank you.
thank you, Spensha Baker.
No,
It's a
thank
pleasure.
you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. It really has. And
Yeah.
Mother Marcy, thank you so much for being the great mother you've been and the inspiration that you've served for your wonderful daughter here,
Yeah.
who almost said no to the audition on The
Almost
Voice.
said no.
Yeah. Yeah. Now she needs the tissue,
I know,
doesn't
now
she?
she needs some tissue.
Where are we going to see you next?
Yeah, I've got a lot of things coming up. Lots of shows at the bottom of the year in New York and Florida. I'm going to be singing at the National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony in Washington, D.C., which is a presidential event. So that's cool. I'm going to keep promoting this single. You guys can follow my journey on all of my social media platforms. It's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's at Spensha Baker and at the Spensha Baker, Spensha.
And you have experience performing for a president.
I have. I sang for Bush. Mm-hmm.
George, it was Junior, right?
Junior.
George W.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And both your parents, Marcy and your father, what's his name?
Wayne. We're in the military.
Yes,
They're
I
Army veterans.
I do not want to forget that.
Yeah, my father is in for 31 and my mother was in for 13.
And you're a big supporter in many ways.
Full-on official military brat, grew up singing on military bases and living on them. Such a huge appreciation for the men and women who are fighting so that I can do what I'm doing.
Thank you for saying so.
Yeah.
And as a military brat, as you put it,
Yeah.
you moved just probably a couple of times, didn't you?
I only moved, I'm right. Well, I'm lucky because I really have only lived in 2 states. My parents, though, I'll let you do a separate interview with them. They've been everywhere, so they have a lot of experiences to tell you
Well,
about.
we tried to get Mother Marcy
know,
on.
but
We're going to
she's
twist her
just-
arm a little harder next time. Yeah.
Next time. We'll come back next month.
Coming off season 14, it was in the not too distant past, like 3 months
I know,
ago.
back in the day.
Of
in
The
May.
Voice on Team Blake, Spensha Baker, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you next time. It's been a pleasure.
Yes,
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next
Bye,
time
guys.
on the Artist Lounge on Mixed Country 96.